Hi, hello everyone. Thank you so much to watch this AI talk. Today we will talk about DataOps process and how it can help the organizations to simplify data movement and data transformation process with governance and orchestration. With us we have Sean Anderson, that it's head of product marketing from Streamsets, that will give us overview about this topic and explain how Streamsets can optimize and contribute to real innovation for some business process. So, hello, Sean. Thank you for your participation on here on our AI talk. So, Shan, to start this talk and to introduce this DataOps topic. So, as we know, we are living on an era that data comes from everywhere, from different systems, different sources, and some processes are really complex, and the data with more and more volumes. Sometimes it's difficult to manage all this data capture and data process on some architectures. So, how this DataOps concept can help organizations manage this complex process and centralize all these steps?
So, Pedro, thank you for having me today on this AI talk. Both for myself and for StreamSets, we're really happy to be here with you today. So, I think you said something that was really important. The amount of data sources is obviously growing. And one unique descriptor of how that's growing is that typically, when we used to talk about a company's data, we were talking about the data that's internal to the company. So, it's transaction records, anything that had it in a database internally. And I think what we see now, especially in the last 10 years, is that companies have more of an appetite to bring data in from outside their organization. So they want to know social sentiment, they want to see how people are clicking around on their website. And that's really how they're going to get a more accurate and more comprehensive picture of the data that they're utilizing. We see a pretty common paradigm here, where the amount of sources that companies want to leverage is growing, right? So I just talked about it, more
Mhm.
external data, more data points from across their bigger data sets, right? That they want to keep for a longer period of time. So this kind of laundry list of data sources is growing on one side of the paradigm. On the other side of the paradigm, you have companies investing in analytics. Hiring analysts, they're hiring data scientists, they're building machine learning models. In fact, we even see, data science, advanced analytics, throughout every single sector of the business, right? So they may have one for
Yes.
finance, they may have one for product. And so both of those things are growing. The thing that doesn't always scale in that scenario is really the glue that ties it all together, is the kind of data engineering function, right? And these are the people who are building the pipelines from all of those sources, transforming the data so it's readily usable by the analytics teams. And these are areas where we don't see companies investing to the degree. In fact, we actually call this the bow tie of death, because there's there's two big triangles on one side, and then you have this kind of constrained button in the middle. Um, and so data ops is really a methodology that allows that very small, very constrained team to operate at a degree of scale, that allows them to be agile, that allows them to basically deliver more to the business than they typically would be able to do with only a small team of people. And that's what StreamSets has really pioneered. We've been talking about data ops now, since it entered the hype cycle for Gartner. And we've written a book on the subject. We just recently finalized our data ops summit. And realistically, for our products, data ops is the methodology. When we go to build a new product or a new integration or a new capability, we're always thinking about, does this really facilitate the data ops mindset? And so, just like DevOps, data ops is a discipline, right? There are multiple vendors involved, and a lot of it, truthfully, is also due to the heroics of the customer, how they engineer their teams and how they, adjust their processes. So, we just try to be a great platform that kind of holds these really key data ops attributes, is part of the way that we build products.
Yes, yes, I agree totally. And nowadays, we really need solutions like that to try to keep simple some process that we have on our business. So I know StreamSets. I already I work with StreamSets in different projects, and I know that it's complete solutions, DataOps solutions with different components, and can really help in some very large use cases. Can you please explain and share with us what is StreamSets and what kind of solutions can offer?
Yeah, absolutely. So, since the kind of crux of data ops is really acquiring all of this data and then transforming it so it's easily ready by the other teams that need to leverage it, is that this operation of data integration is really key to delivering on data ops. It's the mechanism that really ties all together, and it's really what makes data ops continuous over time. That's how we can have continuous data, continuous development and observability. And so the StreamSets platform is a single platform with two powerful data engines. The first one is called the Data Collector engine, and Data Collector is all about moving data from one place to another, one source to a destination. And that was our original product that we went to market with,
Mhm.
and it has been widely adopted across the ecosystem, not only to our commercial customers but also as an open source project. And so data collector is really what people use, especially for batch streaming and change data capture, to actually get that data, say, from all of those various sources into an object store or a data lake or in some sort of raw format. The second engine that we have is called StreamSets Transformer. StreamSets Transformer is all about the big T of ETL. So all of the aggregates and joins and kind of bigger transformations and
Mhm.
operations that you need to do on data. And Transformer leverages kind of the scale and power of Apache Spark, and a lot of the really good ecosystem stuff that comes along with that. Things like structured streaming and just all of the kind of large data set ETL operations. And then we have one central management console called Control Hub. And Control Hub is really where people do a majority of their work. They can provision the very basic data engines. They can do a lot of the data ops stuff, like actually resharing components. We're really big on making sure that if you're a data engineer and you're building components of a data pipeline, if you've built 90% of the data pipeline before, you should be able to save and share that whole pipeline, what we call a fragment of a pipeline, which may only be a
Mhm.
section of that pipeline. So what this allows people to do is it allows data engineers and developers to build data pipelines, to share those artifacts and really reduce the amount of time it takes to develop many of these pipelines. We have some customers that are managing and deploying millions of pipelines. So once you get to that kind of 1,000 million pipelines, it's really important to basically have a single pane of glass that you can manage all of the pipelines, look at the health of how they're performing. And that's how that very small data engineering team or that very small IT operations team is able to operate with a small amount of people and still be able to have that kind of enterprise reliability on how the data pipelines are performing. So we know there are other vendors out there in the data ops space.
Yes.
There's vendors for lineage, there's vendors for governance, and all of these are key. You can look across the entire data value chain, and everybody has a role to play in delivering on data ops. But I think what's great is that we're all acting in concert along those kind of core data ops principles, to make sure that the customers can build data ops inside their organization, and no one single vendor, no one single solution is providing gaps in visibility, gaps in scalability. And so that's really the larger conversation that we're having with a lot of these ecosystem providers, to say, how can we enable these companies to be successful with data ops?
Okay, okay, good, good. Yeah, I have a question to understand what is your opinion, the difference, or where can stream sets can be better if we compare with another solution. We know that nowadays we have different players on the market. We have a lot of solutions that sometimes ones it's more focused on
Mhm.
only the ingestion part, and others it's more focused on transformation part. But stream sets can have all of these solutions in only one tool. Do you can you give us some example where stream sets can be better if we compare with another players to understand better?
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's important to understand, we don't often operate in a vacuum, especially in large enterprises. Depending on how big their data engineering teams or how centralized those data engineering teams are, they're
Mhm.
going to have other tools for data integration.
Yeah.
I think what makes StreamSets unique is that our real focus, our kind of core methodology, is to provide a single development experience. So, whether users are doing data ingestion with data collector, whether they're doing ETL or even ML operations with transformer, whether they're doing batch and CDC, one of the things I think is really unique about stream sets is if you look across the various options that people have for say like data integration or streaming data or change data capture, often what data engineers have to do is basically toggle between a whole bunch of different tools, which is probably a necessity for a lot of people inside of technology. But what it really does is it kills productivity. So a good example would be is if I'm ingesting data, I'm landing it, I need to transform it, and then maybe over time I need to provide some incremental updates to that data, right? You may
Yes.
use 2 to 3 different tools to do that. And that's fine, but the reality is from the actual lens of the developer, the data engineer, is the design experience inside those platforms is actually drastically different. So we call this kind of like swivel chairing, right? Where like, I'm going to build a section of a pipeline, and then I'm going to get to a point to where the product I'm using, you know, uh, I need to move to another product, and that new product may not have the same design experience. So what we really try to do is provide a single design experience for all those patterns. So whether you're building a streaming pipeline, a batch pipeline, a change data capture pipeline, the ETL pipeline, in the future ELT pipelines, um, it doesn't matter. We provide the exact same design canvas. It's a visual design canvas. So somebody like a head of product marketing could actually get in there and build data pipelines as long as you really understand the fundamental logic of how the data is supposed to be flowing and how you need to transform it. Then you can utilize the platform. So this single design experience allows people that maybe were once previously siloed. Maybe they were just the engineer working on the ingestion or just the engineer doing the ETL to really use the skills that they develop with stream sets and build what they need to build. And sometimes it's even within the same pipeline. So maybe we build a batch pipeline, and over time we need to turn it to a streaming pipeline. With
Mhm.
StreamSets, I don't need to purchase another tool. I don't need to go outside of the actual experience that I'm using. And we do this across hybrid cloud and multi-cloud. So whether you're on premise today, whether you're in clouds, whether you're across multi-clouds, we've seen some customers recently who, had big on-premise Hadoop infrastructures, and then they moved to AWS. 6 months later, they said, no, we're going to go to Google. And giving them that flexibility to take the pipelines that they built for these various ecosystems and make some minor changes and mainly to the destination and then apply them to the new environment, that allows them to make the best decision for their business on where their data should go, and it allows the data engineers to have that very portable repeatable experience.
Okay, okay, good, very, very cool. I think that I think that all organizations have this kind of problems, and this kind of solutions can really help to manage. And the main goal, I think, is to have all the process in the same base, in the same page, and build orchestration for all the process. with this kind of tools. So, Shen, thank you so much for your time and for your overview around this topic. I want to thank you, all the people that watched this session. If you have more interest, or if you want to know more about Streamsets or DataOps concept, please contact us, and we can give you more information, or work in a POC, or show a demo of this product, and try to find a use case to use Streamsets and optimize a real do a real optimization on your process. So thank you so much again, Shen. We are in touch. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your continued partnership.
Okay, thank you so much.